Can the listeners hear that?
I don't know.
But we're on.
But we're on.
Okay. Jay's being quiet.
And we're live. Live recording. It's Monday, July 17, 11:37 p.m. Pacific Northwest. Here is Senor Queso.
Yes, for those of you watching on the video.
I am Jay. This is Skull.
This is a show that's loosely called Republic Today. It's the Skull and Jay show or whatever. The YouTube handle is republictoday.net. There's a website that's not up and running, but the YouTube handle is spelled out, is at symbol Republic Today, DOTNET. We talk about our personal lives on this show. So I wanted to talk to the listeners a little bit about myself. And I know I talk all the time on the show and blabber on, and it's always about myself, and I'm self-centered. That's because I'm bad. I have decided, like, if choosing between Jesus and Satan, I think, not because I think it's right, but because I think it's evil, like, I've chosen Satan. And like, I'm a bad person. Um, if you do watch different episodes of this, like this, we've got this lovely vacuum. I left it there. That's why it's there. It's my bad. But vacuum cleaner here. Um, wires. Um, it's not like we've decorated the background great here. I mean, this is cute.
Oh, that was my Skee Ball prize from what? I don't know, a few days ago, Thursday.
Yeah, State Capitol Lake Fest, I think it's called.
It's Lake Fair.
State Capitol Lake Fair?
I don't know. Do you want to tell everyone where we are exactly?
Yeah, we do. We're not hiding it. So that uh, Jay's good at skee ball,
I'm really
and
good.
that was skee ball. That wasn't bar ball. That wasn't like whatever other different, like, that was seemed like full size. That was nice that they had that. Um,
It was a little bit at like a slant. Like it went uphill, or like it had an
and then to the left,
incline.
there's like a guy working on some of them.
And
That was
then
weird.
the last one that I played also stopped keeping my score, so I was just like, okay, whatever.
Uh huh.
We all know I'm winning here.
Right, right. They're like, we're even gonna cheap out on the child slave labor plush,
Yeah.
for people who do actually achieve the goals. So this has become part of the decor in recent weeks. But if you're watching the other angle that we have sometimes on this show, um, there's like a pentagram. Um, that's like devil worship kind of stuff. Um, and so, like, the devil is bad. If you I mean, that's the thing. I believe that binaries do exist, but also situations can be more complicated than um, a binary, black or white, one or zero, good or bad, because good and bad are really complex, nuanced ideas. And if you're gonna, the Taoist yin and yang, it's really complicated because they're not. It's not the idea that the whole universe can be broken down into binaries, but it's binaries do exist, and they can open up the human mind to understanding, such as like understanding mathematics, like the one and the zero, binary code, that kind of thing. Um,
I call it the yin and yang, but
Great, that sounds
part of
more like my accent and less like your Southwest American accent.
part of
The
that
yin and the yang.
when referring to binaries also, like, for me, I'm not like super read up or like whatever on beliefs or practices, but for me, like, I just interpret it as like, okay, it's recognizing that there's a binary, but also that like there is like some gray areas, like you fit a little bit of good in the bad and a little bit of bad in the good, or like however you want to interpret that binary. There's a little bit of the opposite in one and in the other.
Right.
And
Right.
so like
There's really four
how do you
elements.
define that, and like for yourself or for whatever, for your perspective, and so I don't know, to say that you're bad, that doesn't mean anything to me.
Um, what if somebody? What if I said? I mean, this in the interest of the show. What if I said? What if someone said they're like, yeah, I'm good. I'm a good person. Would it give you clues into who they thought they were? Would it give you clues to whether you would think they're good or bad?
It means nothing to me.
It means nothing. Because if somebody can,
Like, yeah, I could make
and
like
it
a better
depends on who.
judgment that I would be more tuned in, like, oh, you say you're good, like I'm going to be watching you a little more closely, or I'm going to be a little more critical.
It depends on who. Because
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the situation.
if somebody who I'm like, let's say I'm just trying to think of a theoretical. Because you have to know somebody decently well to make that judgment for yourself.
Right.
Um, so let's say just like a coworker that I've known for a year. Um, I've been working at a job for it's been less than a year, but just to round things, right? And I'm trying to think if I'm putting my binarian hat on. There's a coworker named Danielle who just seems like a good person. Uh, she works super hard. She's got like a really good attitude all the time. Um, she has, I think like two kids maybe. I don't even know. Like once kid conversation turns on, my brain like goes away. But yeah, it just seems like a good person. Um, so if she said that about, she's like, if we were having a serious conversation, if we were out at a bar having a serious conversation, and it came down to her saying, "I think I'm a good person," my response would be like, "Yeah, yeah, I see that. Like, cool. I'm glad you think you're a good person. I think you're a good person too. Whatever. Moving on." But if like, I don't know, I'm trying to think who do I think is bad like me. Does everybody think they're a good person? Did most people think they're good people? Am I like? I'm trying to think of who thinks they're bad that I know. Somebody I know. I'm sure I know people who are like, yeah, I'm bad, I'm evil. Excuse me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think people go one way or the other. I think a lot of times people don't think about it. They don't think to themselves, I'm a good person. That's my guess.
I think people think about it under certain circumstances or for specific situations.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'm good about being on time to places. Or, yeah, I'm good at communicating. Or, like,
Okay.
yeah, I'm good at being bad.
See, I don't
Is
know what that means.
is
You're
that the
talking about
yin
not
yang?
knowing. You're
Is
talking
that the
about
yin yang?
you're talking about not knowing what something means. Um, is that the yin yang? I'm good at being bad, right? Because it is part of just the one thing, the same thing. Um, and that's why like the philosophy that uses the yin yang. I mean, I mostly associate that with Taoism. They um, they're not about boiling things down to a binary or something like that, or the one they use. I mean, it's the way, and so that word is more nuanced than a thing or not a thing, or you know the way.
It's more about the path and not a definite instance in time
Yeah, or object.
or object.
So in
So that
English, we
kind
have
of
God. That's this creator. It can be more than one thing at once. It is the multiverse, but it's also conscious and whatever, God, right? In English.
good God. Jesus.
And people don't say Jesus a bueno. Jesus bueno.
No sé.
That's not, I don't think that's in bueno.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an idioma. I think the idioma is Dios mío.
Dios mío.
My God. But God is one thing. I mean, it's about that unity. And I don't know a ton about Nirvana, but isn't Nirvana also like a great unity? I think it is.
Nirvana. I don't know.
Um, but that's not what Taoism's about saying we know for a fact that there's this one single unity. So there's this yin yang, understanding too, that there's not just one. Anyway, it's great. I'm really into Taoism. I like it. I think that those philosophers, if you're gonna pick a human philosopher,
Do you have a book?
yeah. I'll get some publishing. I know one of
Skull's
the.
gonna show it off. And then I did place a couple more books on the shelf here, so that way when I look at them I can feel compelled to read them. I did finish a graphic novel that I was like kind of disappointed about the ending of, but whatever, doesn't matter. And then I read like a little bit more of another novel, which is like pretty fun and exciting. But anyway, back to this literature.
So this is 2003. 2003. It's a translation of the Dao De Jing, and it's backwards on the one I'm looking at right now. So that Tao Te Ching, there was a popular book series like the Tao of Pooh. I don't know if you ran into that one with Winnie the Pooh.
What is it about, like philosophies of the different characters or something like that?
It has to do with like Taoism or Taoism, depending on your Chinese pronunciation. So when I see the yin yang, I think of Taoism. Also, you might see like a circle. It looks like a painted circle. That's another kind of like Taoist symbol, and it's a specific philosophy. It's distinct from Confucianism and Buddhism, and those would be the big three Chinese philosophies. And so this book is subtitled, and it's their translation of the Dao De Jing, is making this life significant. And so the credit is translated and with commentary by Roger T. Ames and David L. Hall. So it's really, there's like footnotes and multiple parts that have footnotes and whatever. But you can just read it as like, okay, here's this chapter of the Tao Te Ching. Let's see what it says. If you're not familiar with that, there's other translations of this book. I don't know, like, so there's a translation by Stephen Mitchell. That was the one that was first gifted to me by someone back in the day, and that's what blew me away. And so it's accessible, but there's lots of translations of the Tao Te Ching and free online, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, there's a whole, thousands of years of books and philosophers, and the Taoism is the one religion in the world that started as a philosophy. the rest of the philosophy religion combos start as like believing in a god or multiple gods or etc. Paganism,
Like a theism.
Christianity, all of it, what you think of as religion.
Mm.
Then they build philosophies out of that, and a lot of that is legit thinking, but Taoism is the one where it started as like, yeah, not necessarily anti-religion like atheism, but more of like a way of looking at the world and analyzing your experience and like whatever super crazy genius people wrote this or Lao Tzu, and it doesn't even say um, on this cover that because there it is normally attributed Lao space TZU is the credited author through history of the Dao De Jing. Anyway, that's all I got with that for now.
Is that it for the whole evening?
Well, I've been talking a lot. So what you got?
What do I got? We're mostly, so on our end, we're pretty much caught up on uploading our vlog cast. And sorry, that's on me. I suck, I guess. I don't know. But there's one in the queue to be published tomorrow morning, and then hopefully either like this evening or tomorrow I'll get this one put up too. But yeah, I mean, we're all finding routines in our lives and I don't know, figuring things out every day. What we want, what we need, what I don't know, what feels good, and um I don't know. I hope we all like figure it out at some point.
Some
But
people are like
um
self-centered, selfish. They just focus on their wants. Um, I don't think it's selfish to focus on your needs, but some people are selfless and they focus on other people's wants and needs. Um, like angels or whatever. But then, like, what about Lucifer? He's a fallen angel and he's evil. That's a thing. And I recommend the TV show if you like to have background TV on. It's like mindless and cute and whatever. And there's burgers. By the way, Jay here did burger night again.
double trouble.
We're not splitting a burger
Anyway, so
like amateurs.
I don't know.
I'm gonna savor
I'll
a burger.
describe
Fuck, I'm so blessed.
this burger is a I still don't know the name of the pretzel buns. Pretzillas? I don't know. Anyway, I did write about it in the description of the episode I think that's going to be published tomorrow morning. Which by the time you see this will be
Today.
And there is, yeah, pretzel bun. I'll do it bottom layer. Pretzel bun. Aguacate, otherwise known as avocado. Beyond Burger. House-made slaw. Sliced thin, I don't know, carrots. And then pretzel bun. Pickle on the side. Pickle spear. So that's what we are about to engage in. We'll spare you from the visual details, unlike the last episode where we both just like ate our burgers in front of you. For those of you who are watching, for those of you who are listening, obviously you didn't get to see that, and that's probably a good thing. Or is it a bad thing? I don't know. Yin and yang. What does it mean? Does it mean anything? Probably not. So anyway, thank you for listening, and we'll see you soon.